Hello, wonderful people. How are you doing today? How are you? My name is Sandy. I'm a biz strategist, and I'm coming here on this Sunday. Happy Sunday to you, by the way. Sorry I hadn't seen you guys in possibly about a week. Yes, I've been doing some things, getting prepared for the tax season. I am doing some taxes, and I'm getting ready for the new year. So there's a deadline on October 15th. You know that, right? So we're getting prepared for that. And then also, I want to just talk to you today for my conversation is, first of all, give yourself a pat on the back if you made it this far without pulling your hair out into the year. We're in October, and I know a lot of you made New Year's promises to yourself. We won't say resolutions, but I know you made New Year's promises to yourself, and I hope that you kept most of them, if not all of them. And sometimes life happens, and I know and I understand you may not have been able to keep those main ones that you wanted to keep, right? So what I want to do is today is talk a little bit about and recapping some things that we've been talking about and we've been discussing, but I want to give you a few tips and points of just how to end the year strong and just how to do what you need to do to get to the next level and get to 2026 in a very positive light, in a very productive and very goal oriented end result in enter the next year into getting your results of all the things that you wanted to do. And so now you do know in business, you need to be very structured and prepared, right? And so I work with clients, mainly I've been working with a lot of clients now with getting grant funding. So let's talk a little bit about the grant portion of you getting some funds for your business, getting some of that money, because now we're in this administration, we're in so many different uncertainties, and the government, as this video is produced, the government is shut down, but we want to make the best of every situation, and we do know we're going to be realistic at the same time, but we're going to get some things done. We're not going to be defeated because we know that all things work together for the good of them who love God and who are called according to his purpose. So your purpose in this land and in this existence here is much greater than what we're going through. I understand, take it seriously, but you got this, okay? And so let me get to a few things that I do want to talk to you about. First of all, like I said, I want you to know that your structure of your business is going to be the main thing that's going to get you. It's going to take you down roads that you want to travel, okay? That's the first order of business. And I have free guides for you to do that. You can pushthedream.com is where it is. You can receive and indulge, help you get there, help you to figure it out, and help you to make things happen for you. Now, making money in this economy is going to be very, very intentional. All right. That's what I'm saying. You're gonna have to be, whether you're gonna get a grant, whether you're gonna get a contract, whether you're going to grow, however you're going to grow that business. Just do know, if you're in business and you would like to stay in business, you're going to have to do something about it. Okay. And that can be a multitude of things. So it's just not one thing, but it can be one thing within your niche. But if you want to grow your business, you definitely have to make sure that that structure is going to be definitely important, because a lot of times what is happening is, if you don't have it structured, the ones that can give you fundings are the companies, the organizations, or the the venture capitalists, of whomever you are reaching out to. If they're going to give you any money, any funding for your business, then this is what you're going to definitely have to have your structure in a business manner. It's not going to be personal, because they're not giving money to personal endeavors. They're giving money. If you're requesting it for your business, you have to prove to them that you are a business. Okay. And so, that's where your opportunities are they're not limited. They're just limited here. Okay, just to remember that. All right, and structure is very matter. It matters. And while I'm on the subject too of speaking of taxes, just do know each year if you're in business, make sure that you file your business taxes, because that way, along when opportunity come up, sometimes other opportunities want to see your previous business tax returns. Okay, they want to see your Schedule Cs. They want to see what's going on in your business. And that's so much that you need to do to keep up that. Keep up with your income, your profit and loss, create your profit and loss statement. Keep up with your expenses, keep up with your income, keep up with the flow of cash through your business, whatever avenue you use. Like, for instance, if you're going to use certain payment processors in order to be able to get money in your business, and people stop using Cash App so much. Stop using Cash App and stop using just solely to say, okay, this is how I'm going to conduct business. Please, I know there's an advancement in some of those, but when you want to get the money that's really, really going to matter to you, and not just saying the pennies and the smaller amounts, you're going to need more than that. So that's just a little nugget for you, just a little tip for you. Okay. And then also we can, and then you can take yourself to the next level, take your business to the next level. Now let's get into basically having your business structured in a way that it's going to your business planning. That can be more than just really writing out a physical plan, but that is definitely important, because that plan is going to it's going to be your roadmap and your blueprint to taking you down other roads. It's going to help you land money here, money there, and helping you even meet up with other business opportunities, right? So let's see here. Yeah. And so you definitely have to make it worth your while in being prepared. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about being prepared with, like, preparing yourself for a grant funding opportunity. And what I've discovered in working with clients and working, just finding out these are some things that you may want to address, and you may want to keep in the forefront of you when you are through your grant process. So you definitely have to do it. Let's see. Now, showing these particular, I would say, outlines and strategies in your business is going to put you, number one, it's going to put you in front of those that are just out here searching for money and thinking that, okay, I just need to write a couple of lines and then they're going to give me this funding. Having a plan together is going to get you that money. Okay. And letting them see where you're going to begin, what's the results you're going to get, and how you're going to implement all of that, like I mentioned to you in a few other videos in the past. Okay. Now, whatever you're going to do, let's say whatever service after you've initially gotten the back end of your business set up and together, right? Whatever your mission is, okay, what that means, what are you going to do? What is the sole purpose that you're in business? And side note, you need to partner with those that have the like-minded vision as you do. For instance, you wouldn't partner with a gas company if you decided on opening up a daycare. Okay, unless they have a particular area in their vision, in their funding area, where they say that they're going to give funding to those that's going to start businesses, entrepreneurship, no matter what type of business it is, then that's the difference. So I'm just giving you that example. I know that's a kind of like a far-fetched example, but you get the point, right? Okay. The next thing is identifying your services, and if you have programs along in your services, identifying that is going to be very key and very important. And then the meat and potatoes of any business that you need to know, and then those, if you're looking to invest in funding, this here is going to be very important. It's the lifeblood of everything that's going to happen, everything that's going to happen for you, and everything that's going to happen to you in business. And that is your marketing and the demographics of who you're going to be reaching out to bring them into your business, and for those that you're going to serve and those that will be able to have an exchange with you for as cash and cash flowing through your business, right? And then you need to do some demographic marketing. You need to do some segment of some different target marketing, and you definitely need to do some growth drivers, or some things that you may be able to implement in how you're going to grow your business. And then it would be good to give maybe a 3 to 5 year forecast in that aspect. So that's very important. Very important. Okay. And then how are you going to address that segment? Now, you got ways that you can find all of this information out, but we won't discuss it here. If you need mentorship, join the community, and then that way, when things are happening in the community to break all of this down, then you will know. Okay, but I'm just going to give you what you need to do right here, right now, today. How about that? Okay. Now, one of the next thing is knowing the competitive landscape, knowing who's going to be your competitor, someone that's doing the same thing that you're doing. Finding out this here, right here, can really, you can be the unique selling proposition. You ever hear that word? Unique selling proposition. This is where you find this information out. You can be unique into how you're going to present and be different from your competitors by researching and knowing how they directly serve the customers that they serve. What are their mission statements and what are their values, and what can you do to see that you can do something better or improve what they're doing. And when you do that, a lot of times it's by finding out what people are saying about this particular company. Is customer service on point? What are they saying about the product or services of this company? These are the things that I'm talking about. Making sure that you do that. Okay. Now, positioning yourself in this is, like I said, you just make sure that you always, and then once you do that too, have that statement of and letting the grantor or letting whomever, whether it can be funding by venture capital or whoever, the banks, whomever, letting them know how you're going to be unique and different, and then how you're going to be able to satisfy these particular customers that you've already told them that you're going to market to in a previous section of your business plan, or written out, right? So all of this here, so this is the strategic thinking way, and this is how you are put in front of those that are just out here asking for grant money and asking for funding, or even asking someone to invest in their business, or even asking a bank for funding, or even asking the SBA for funding, or even asking a venture capitalist for funding, or even just say, for yourself, is how are you going to plan this thing out so you won't be overwhelmed? So it's so many ways that this is going to benefit you till, I can go on and on, right? But we'll stop there. Okay. Let's continue on and talk about some more things that's going to help and put you into the front of everything that we want you to do and we want you to have in business. Now, one of the next thing is your operations. How are you going to run this business? What's going to take place on a day-to-day basis? Whether you're going to have a staff, how many, what time you're going to open the business, where's the facility going to be, what's going to be like the parking of your business. You need to know all of that. That's going to be good for you to implement, even if you don't put a whole lot of details of that portion into your plan, but you definitely need to know. Okay. Then your the scheduling. How are you going, if you're going to have a business, like if you're going to serve clients, so how will that flow of the day be? That's a part of your operation. This is what I'm speaking of. What kind of technology you're going to have? What are the quality and safety precautions if you do have that kind of stuff that's a part of your business? How you, let's say, for instance, if you're selling a product, or you may be selling, you have a I would say a hair care line, like some of the things that I had to do. I had to make sure that I got insurance with the right, got the proper insurance in case there was a liability issue later on in my business. So if there's any insurances that you're going to need in your business with your business idea, this is where it all comes in. And this is where you sit down and you have to think and write it out, and you have to make sure you put it in place. That's going to benefit you, and that's going to benefit those that's going to help you get this business in the stance that of where you want it to be. Now, if there's a next thing is putting down if there are any kind of safety concerns, any kind of compliances of whatever you're doing in business, or is it any kind of risk management that you need to include? And that is an emergency plan or risk plan. If you show them all of this and you have this, you can have this set apart, but at least have it structured. See, there's a lot that goes into a business, and every business won't have this component for as maybe safety, compliance, and risk management. Everything won't, but it will, and not at least until great detail. But you do need to touch on some of the things that's going to include like a compliance ish, situation, or it risk, or either safety. It is all depends on the type of business you have, right? And so this can include like a compliance and safety thing, can include, include your employees. So you may not have a extensive part, but you may have a small portion. Next thing is your staff. Well, how is your staff going to be organized? What is a job description? Creating job description, having staff, how many people you think you're going to need. You need to know all of that. Is there going to be any training and development? Are you going to do it? Are you going to hire someone to do it? Do you need a company to do it? You get what I'm saying? So all of this is going to set you, they're going to say, they really thought this thing out, and they realize see what you're doing. You're minimizing, and you're minimizing that risk, and you're showing them that, hey, you're serious about what you're doing, and you're serious about what's about to happen. So if they invest in you, then their money will be safe with you because you have really thought this thing out. Okay. All right. Now, let's continue on. And then now also with your marketing, let me touch back on your with some portions of your marketing a little bit. You want to just say, hey, am I going to plan out this marketing for maybe a month, or maybe, 6 months, 12 months? How am I going to do this? And set up some key performance indicators. That is to see how your company is doing in each section or each sector of maybe 2 or 3 months. Measure this information, measure that marketing, measure your growth of your company. Have that information, at least how you're going to do it, and let them see and let them know that, hey, okay, they are going to be watching, and they're not going to waste our funds because they are going to be doing their due diligence along the way, and they're going to be doing their measurements. They're going to measure their progress. And so they are going to make sure that they are going to be in a growth mindset. So it's all about mindset too. So basically, grant funders want to know, where's the mindset of this inventor, or, this visionaire. Where's the mindset of this person? So that is how you make sure that you're good there too. Okay. Now, also, next thing, your projections. You need to have already at least gotten a revenue forecast of your projections of how many people you're going to serve, and that can come from your marketing. That can all come from the marketing piece of your business. And then the break-even analysis is where, okay, after you spend all this money and you've taken care of everything for the month, what do you have to do in order to be able to break even, or come to the middle of the road and saying, okay, so after I take care of all of the expenses or all the operations to run this business, that can be your employees, that can be, paying staff, that can be paying the bills, that can be getting, and if you need to purchase equipment, or you need to purchase products to be able to have your business up and running to where it needs to be functional every month, then that is where you say, okay, after this particular expense, then here is the profit portion. So you need to make sure that you know that as well. That is nothing that is going to be left out of this. Okay. That is a given. That's going to help. It's going to be very important and it's going to be very helpful at the same time. Okay. And then also just remember to be able to focus on your startup costs. If you're not already in business with this and you're reaching out to a grant funder, make sure that you know that startup costs and what kind of equipment are you going to need for every stance to begin this business. Because it's going to take, and then it's going to take something. It's going to take equipment. It's going to take, and grantors know this, corporations know this, venture capitalists know this. They've been there, they've done that. If not themselves, they've been involved with companies that they know, hey, you got to start somewhere. So don't just try to put the minimum, to keep them there. Just be honest about what is gonna cost. What things will what things will cost to make this a reality and to make this launch come to life and be successful, whatever it is. The next thing is in determining who you're going to reach out to get this funding for. What segment, or what kind of, is it going to be a program that you're going to need, but what kind of funding you're going to need to get this funding, or where you're going to start, who are you going to reach out to, and find out what they require of you. This is going to require you reading thoroughly and reading in great detail and having a pencil or a little tablet or something next to you and finding out what they're asking of you and give them no less than what they're asking you and give them no more. Because sometimes you don't want to just be vague and rattle off. You just be specific, get to the point, in a coherent way and be done with it. Okay. That's all you have to do. And then also one of the last things I think that is going to be, I know that's going to be very important is what is going to be the impact of whatever it is. What is the long-term vision? What is going to be the impact of you starting this business, and what problem you're going to start, and what do you believe that the results are going to be? And you can show in the past that this kind of business, these results happen. But yeah, we over here, we're doing it a little differently. Or as a matter of fact, we're not only doing it a little differently, we're going to advance with it. So those kind of things that you need to make sure that you include. And so that's pretty much it. And this is how you can get yourself prepared to get some funding out here into the marketplace and don't worry about not being successful in business. It's going to take a little work. It's going to require a little work on your part. Okay. And if you need my services, I'm biz strategist Sandy. I'm here to help you get there to the next level. And you have a wonderful Sunday. And I hope to see you. Well, I will see you next week. Any questions? Is there anything you need from me that you may think that I didn't say here that you want to ask me a question? Join the community or either leave me a message or DM me. I'll be glad to talk with you. Okay. Talk to you later. Y'all have a beautiful day. Bye-bye. Take care.